Hi, my name is Harish Rojas from Win 911. Today we're going to cover Win 911 alarm and notification software with remote connectivity. Chris Cave will also be sharing. Let's start with who is Win 911. Win 911 is the most widely used alarm and notification software. We have deployed over 18,000 facilities and 80 different countries. We partner with all major SCADAs and HMI vendors, such as Rockwell, GE, Aviva Wonderware, Indusoft, and Cytec. For anybody else, such as Siemens, ABB, Omron, and so many others, we use OPCDA. Our headquarters is located in Austin, Texas, but we have offices in France, Mexico, and China. We use a world-class network distributors and system integrators to achieve much success. Next, what are the industries that Win 911 serves? Industrial applications such as water, wastewater, food and beverage, oil and gas, life science, and manufacturing is our top 5 industries. But as you can see in this screen, there is a lot more that we offer. Data centers, building management, mining, disaster prevention, and much more. What is Win 911? Well, we are the right alarm to the right person at the right device. Let's take a look at this picture. On the left-hand side, we have the industrial alarm events that happens inside of your plant. You use your HMI and SCADA system to send those alarms. Win 911 truly is the brain where you can where it allows you to collaborate, schedule, report, and escalation of those alarms. Now, how do we send those alarms? Well, two-way encrypted communication is available from Win 911, via mobile app, text, voice, email, and then there is a one-way communication announcer. So there is a total of 5 different notification methods available for sending those very important alarms out to all of your maintenance technicians, system engineers, plant managers, control room, or response center. All right, so let's talk about the integration of what we call direct connections. We're going to talk about the Wonderware Aviva product. Wonderware System Platform is the largest SCADA from the Aviva product. We're actually able to integrate to Wonderware System Platform via subscription and filters by attribute name, area name, and priorities. From here, we're going to switch to InTouch. InTouch integration uses Alarm Toolkit and SuiteLink to connect. It connects to multiple InTouch applications, remotely connect to InTouch, and we also do subscription and filters via tag name, group, priority. Last but not least is InTouch Edge or Aviva Edge. Now that is using a Web Studio InTouch ME data source, which is now connecting via TCP server. It allows for multiple local or remote Web Studio projects. Same as before, we're able to do subscriptions and filters via groups, messages, tag names, and priorities. But as well, we're also able to do alarm import, the same thing as InTouch. Now, why is direct connection so important? Because it dynamically receives new alarms. The alarms are maintained inside of the SCADA, and the acknowledgements from Win 911 to the SCADA is seamless. Next, SCADA support. For this year, we have done System Platform and InTouch 2020, all the way to R2, the Aviva Edge 2020, and the newer release that they have. And this is what I would show when you're doing the installation of Win 911, for example, with Aviva Edge. InTouch Edge HMI, in case that you have some of the older versions. Now, this is the new installation with the Aviva Edge 2020. Now I'm going to pass it along to Chris Cave.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Cave. I work in product support, and you may have had an open ticket with me at some point. These are some of the tools we're going to talk about today with Win 911. These get installed automatically, but if not, you can always install them. And we're going to start off with the announcer. Announcer is a way of announcing alarms through your PC speaker or sending it through the plant alarm system. Then we have contacts utility. This is a way to quickly switch out your contacts, your notifications for the people that are going to be notified. This way you don't have to open up the configurator each time. You can just open up contacts utility, which can be embedded in your HMI, so you can open it straight from the HMI. And then we have the mobile hub, which is a proxy software in case your Win911 server does not have internet access. You can copy and paste this exe from mobile hub to a new machine, install it, and use that machine with internet access as your proxy. And then we have the account change utility. Win911 runs as services under a username, and before you could not change that username, but now with this account change utility, you can change that along with updating the password. Here's an example of the contacts utility. Here we have a call list of who gets called first and what order, and we can always manipulate that, change it around, move the list around, add and remove people if we'd like. And then this is an example of our announcer. We have the tabs across the top where you can create what subscriptions is going to enunciate the alarms, what audio you're going to hear, whether it's going to be a Zira or David, and then alarm formats for how you want to hear the alarms, if you want to hear conditions rather than tag names. And then say as lets you create acronyms to actually say the acronym. So let's say it's showing an ALM, you could have it actually say alarm anytime it sees the acronym for ALM. And then connectivity is what allows you to connect to Win911. This can be installed on the Win911 server or another machine. And then with our new system, we can import from the V7, which is our legacy product. So if you're using our legacy product, the new installation will allow you to import the configuration from the old to the new. And here's an example of how you're going to see it in the Windows Start menu after you've installed it. And so here we can see the account change utility shortcut, the announcer, the contacts utility, along with the uninstaller. And then this is our bread and butter. This is Log Viewer, aka the alarm monitor window. This is where you're going to see alarms come in from your SCADA to Win911. You can see what strategy it took, which is the call out list, beginning of the call out list. You can see what the tag names are. We can also export the alarm history. And we need to actually go uncheck this auto update first to be able to see our alarm history, and then we can choose our date range and then export the list. You can export to CSV and XLS or PDF. And then we have another tab for notifications. That's like a quick summary of what's going on, when alarms come in and who got notified. You can also export that list as well. And here we have an example of the PDF where you're going to see the color coding for the alarms that actually came in, and you can go to a PDF or CSV file with that. And now it is time for our live demo. And here I'm going to drag over an example of Win911. And so here we have an InTouch app, an HMI, where I've embedded the contacts utility. We can click on that, simply open up the contacts utility very quickly, select our call out list that we want to change, and then quickly change who I want, if I want to add someone or remove someone from the list. Once I'm done, I can exit out, and this way I don't actually have to open the configurator. Now, we do have the Win911 workspace, which is the main configurator. It's going to be in the Start menu folder, and we can start that from here. It opens up an Internet Explorer. And when you're configuring Win911, you always want to go from left to right. We have the contacts. This is going to be our connections to our hardware, whether it's a mail server, a voice over IP system, or a TAPI modem. You can connect to an SMS modem, and along with the Win911 mobile gateway. From there, we move on to connections, and this is where we build our phone book. Each user is created. If we want email, they're going to be an email user. We can create the same user for voice if you like, and same with SMS and mobile. And then once we're done there, we go to our notifications, our tactics. This is where we create our call out list, and we can have various call out lists available here. And then our strategies is our policy for when to take action that will be assigned to a tactic and start that tactic. And so the initial event is the alarm triggering. It will start a tactic, which is a call out list. If any alarm state change were to occur, it will re-notify, and then we're going to stop the call out list once the alarm becomes acknowledged and returned to normal. We also have another option to stop the call out list when acknowledged. So that way, if it calls the first person on the list, they acknowledge the alarm, we can tell it to stop the call out so it doesn't call anyone else on the list. Once we're done there, we move on to our alarming. This is our connection to the data source. This is going to be for InTouch. And we can bring in alarms two ways, either through subscription routes, where we can create a brand new subscription. And we mentioned this earlier, we can do specific tag names, group names, or priority ranges. Once we have a subscription set, we then assign it to our route. And this is going to be under the applications. This is our direct connection to InTouch. And here we go to our subscription route, and we can assign different routes to different groups. And it's a catch-all system. So right now, all alarms is top. And with all alarms means this filter would catch everything no matter what. So it's always going to use a strategy. But if you want different alarms to go to different people, we would set a priority subscription, set it to go to a strategy. And that strategy will trigger a call-out list. If it doesn't match this filter, then it will move on to the next rank, and we could do a critical alarms catch here. And this could point to a different call group, to a different group of people. And that is the main juice of the application. That's the basic functionality of the system. And right now, we'll go ahead and trigger an alarm from our InTouch system. We can trigger multiple alarms. And here we'll see them show up in Log Viewer. And each alarm comes in its order. And then we can double click inside of an alarm row to drill down and see the details of what's going on with that. We can see who got dispatched. We can see what strategy it took, what tactic it took, and any state changes that might have occurred. And from here, we can actually acknowledge the alarm if we want back to the SCADA. And here we can see that it updated my SCADA alarm summary screen. We hit the red arrow to get back, and now we can see that we have one alarm acknowledged. The rest are still waiting to be acknowledged. I can acknowledge the entire page here if I like, and it will acknowledge back to the SCADA. Once the alarm clears, they do disappear from Log Viewer, and that's it. Here's a quick example of what we were talking about earlier with the export. So if I wanted to see the alarm history, I can uncheck this box, set my date range, and then export my list to either PDF or to Excel or to a CSV file. All right, Arish, I think it's time for them to see our mobile app. If you wouldn't mind starting that for us.
Thank you, Chris. Here is what the Win911 mobile app looks like. You can download this from any of your Apple Store or Google Store. So after you download it, it's free. You can go to Use Demo. From the Use Demo, you're going to allow it for a 15-minute session, and then it will expire. Go ahead and hit OK. And then we should be able to see a lot of different alarms coming through. The very first one is a storage water pump. Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. As you can see, we are going to see the tag description, condition description, the value, event time, and much more. From here, you're going to be able to go ahead and acknowledge that alarm. When you acknowledge that alarm, you can type any comment such as your name, or I'll be there in 5 minutes, or whatever you might need to share with your colleagues. As you can see, it automatically acknowledges, and then you're going to be able to see that after the tag description, condition description, value, there's going to be a new actor. Actor is demo user 1, which is me, and the comment is Arish. From here, let's go ahead and hit on chat. The chat would allow you to send chat among the people that are able to see this alarm. So we can say test and send it out. Anybody that has opened this alarm will be able to see this chat and interact with me. Now, how do we know who has seen this alarm? Well, you go to the top right where it says Teams, and then you're going to be able to see all of the people that have seen it or have not yet seen this alarm. In this case, I'm the only one, and demo user 1 is the only user that has seen it. It tells you when was the notification sent, the acknowledgement, and the last view. From here, if you have an Android phone, you're going to go to the top left, the 3 lines, and you're going to be able to see alarms, reports, settings, feedback, and log out. Here, we're actually going to go ahead and view reports. If you have an Apple phone, all of that information is going to be at the bottom of your screen. Now, demo site 1, all OPC tags. When we click on that one, we're going to be able to see all of the different OPC tags. Now, anybody can go and take a look at this report and be able to see what's happening inside of your plant right away. So as a good example is, why would you use this? Because it allows you to proactively see something before it actually becomes an alarm. A great example is the tag number 2, index number 2, HVAC air temperature, value of 85 Fahrenheit. You might not know what that means, but the operator inside of this plant might know that if this value hits 90, it would be a critical alarm. So they're going to be able to come and see this report, maybe 2-3 times per day, and be able to see if the value has increased or decreased. They know their values. Now, right now, I have my phone vertical, but I can actually go horizontal. So this happens for any phone that is an Android, and if you have an Apple phone, an iPhone, you'll be able to see this with the larger phones. But now you can scroll on the right-hand side, your OPC tags, or on the left-hand side, you can switch to the different reports as shown in the screen. Now let's go ahead and go back to vertical mode and go to the 3 dots, the 3 lines on the top left, and show you the settings. Why is this so important? Because now Win911, the mobile app, allows you to create different formatting and alarm details. So let's go ahead and hit alarm details. And you can see these are the different details that are currently being displayed in your mobile app. Area, tag description, condition description, native severity, value, and actor. If you remember, I read those aloud inside of the alarm. But if we scroll all the way down, we can see that there are a few available for display, like alarm ID, condition description, condition name, limit, and quality. Let's go ahead and add alarm ID and condition description. You can see that those got added at the bottom. So we can go back to the top left, 3 lines, set alarms, and let's pick a new alarm. Let's do computer room door. Let's go ahead and hit that. And if we scroll down, we're going to see at the bottom alarm ID and condition description. So as you can see, you can add or remove the amount of information that you have seen in your mobile app just by doing so, by going to your settings and making the changes on your format. One of the other things that is very useful is do not disturb. On the sound and notification, you can hit do not disturb. It will pop up a calendar and you can say, hey, I'm on vacation all the way until Monday, the 12th. I'll be back at work at 8 a.m. We're going to switch that to 8 a.m. and then set. Now, what does this mean? Well, I'm not going to get any push notifications from my mobile application until Monday at 8 a.m. All the alarms will continue to be visible if I go inside of the app, but they're just not going to be sending push notifications. Now, one of the things that you can see this is at the bottom, you see storage water pump. You can see that that alarm has been acknowledged because it has a little check mark, but it also there is a text or a comment, which is the one that I put before. This allows you to easily see really quickly when people are talking about that specific alarm. With that, I'm going to go ahead and log out, and I'm going to pass it back to Chris Cave.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you taking the time to watch our video. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask.